You look like Hobie with your haircut.
I look like Hobie with my haircut?
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hobie looks like me with his haircut.
What? You got your haircut
it's
after
Oh, it's on.
Hobie's.
The haircut challenge. Hobie 909. Shave your head. Oh my gosh.
Bob, she can play with...
So the Revolting Man has begun or picked up on his series of a Man Up. And Pastor Joe is talking on Patreon about being a man and all this stuff. And it got me thinking about millennials. What happens to millennials post SHTF? And I can see the gears spinning in most of y'all's heads. So I just want to go on record and say, you know what's wrong with millennials? The same damn thing that's wrong with you and everybody else. I think most of the reason that people revolt against millennials is that they're looking at themselves when they were younger going, I wish that they were, you know, stronger, tougher, had better work ethic, this and that and the third. And you see yourself in them and you rail against the things that you see in them that you don't like about yourself. I also think that there are a certain subsection of millennials that are just terrible. But there's a certain subsection of baby boomers that are just terrible.
Boy.
Should I even get started about Gen X? Nah, yeah. So, she's not running away if you can see her. She's over there. She's got Bubba right here for QRF. He's fine. So,
But I mean, to go with that, like, I know when I was in my, like, late teens, early 20s, I was like hell on wheels.
what?
And
That's a tree, honey.
had numerous jobs, like, you know,
I was a disaster.
yeah.
I was a disaster at
And
15.
I think the knowledge and know-how just comes with age from doing and putting yourself into that. Because, yeah, I mean, if I was my age now, looking back on myself at my age then, I would be like, she was a complete and total idiot.
Yep.
And
You know, the other thing I'd say too
so
is,
they have potential.
yeah, like all people.
Yeah.
But you know that I think one of the issues with millennials is it's become so easy nowadays to just share how you feel. You know, everybody is so up to speed on what everybody else is doing because we can do this, that millennials, like this one here, you're not a millennial. I don't even know what you are. You're 12. That's what you are. But this one here in our old house in Texas was looking at the wall and she says, "What's that thing on the wall?" And I said, "That's a phone jack, honey." And she said, "Well, why would you hang your phone on the wall?" Because she's thinking iPhone, right? She didn't know about a phone, a landline, right? And so these millennials have grown up in a time where it's just normal. If you have a problem, you take it to Twitter and you tweet about it. And yeah, you voice it to everyone. So Stoicism was kind of on the downward spiral when these millennials were coming of age. And you combine that with all these modern social media, communications technology and the whole nine. And it makes for a certain level of obnoxiousness with millennials. But what's wrong with millennials? The same thing that's wrong with everybody else. You know, are millennials going to die during SHTF? Yep. So what? So's everybody else. It's like the old saying around here at this channel, well, that weapon's not military specification. Neither are you. So, are millennials going to die? Yeah. Baby boomers? Yep. Gen X? You betcha took us. Like, it's not going to be great for anybody. Now, that being said, She's not in the bush. She's
She's attacking
she's
a
just
bush.
camouflaging herself. She's picking little tiny things for her baby ghillie suit. Hey, you need that jacket on.
No.
So, what's gonna get the millennials? Number one, they need to harden up. So does everybody else. They need to harden up. We have been out here since 12:30. It's now pushing 4. So about 3.5 hours of solid work. All this was so dense, you literally couldn't see 7 to 10 yards was about as far as you could see all back here. So we've spent 3.5 hours running saws, felling deadwood, bucking that deadwood into firewood, moving it with a garden cart from back there to up the other side of Grandma's house, burning brush, dragging brush, limbing cedars, dude, limbing cedars, just going to town. Okay, careful. Just getting it done, right? And so there's a time in life when you just need to grind. Maybe, hey, this is not really conducive to the production of quality content. Hey, you, what are you doing? Is that your belly?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Purple thing.
Is your belly button?
This is great quality.
Super ultra tactical, the world's gonna end. All right, so they need to harden up just like everybody else does. There's a time for grinding. There's a time for dragging brush. There's a time for doing things that just suck. And you need to just get okay with things are gonna suck. And that's especially like post SHTF. Yeah, things are gonna suck, man. It's not gonna be wonderful. How often have I told you, ma'am,
Me?
yeah, you need to harden up because you have an easy life, right?
A lot.
So talk to this little dot right here.
Hi, Dot. A
9.
lot.
A lot, right?
Yeah.
9.
And it doesn't mean that you can't have joy. Hey! Doesn't mean that you can't have joy. It means that you just need to harden up. Because your life has been very easy to this point. Right? Use words.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, what's going to get millennials? That. Disease, famine, starvation, lack of planning. The same thing that's going to get everybody else. Will millennials cope with it any better than everybody else? Maybe. I mean, truthfully, let's be honest here, because I don't really, this isn't my gig, but millennials are more emotionally honest with themselves, right, than a lot of the rest of us, you know? What do you think?
Well, I think for the most part,
No.
millennials have had, technology has made things easier.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is going to be, a slight disadvantage. Like, it's like we have a ton of books
Right?
for knowledge.
Good point.
Whereas millennials are like, I'll just Google it.
Right.
So there is that type of kind of disconnect.
That's a good point.
But there's still some knowledgeable millennials out there. And like I said, I know when I was that age that they are now, I would have looked down on myself like I'm an idiot. What is that chick doing? Like, she doesn't know anything. But I still had good work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't really know how to harness that work ethic.
You weren't very targeted?
Right, yeah. I was very flighty, like, oh, I want to go on a road trip across the country. Peace. And so, but I think they've had a lot of stuff given to them. And like with baby boomers, a lot of them, or maybe it's pre-baby boomers, but they had a part of their life, like depression, recession coming, living through part of that. And, you know, in the old days, things just weren't as easy.
Yep.
You know, like you didn't have a riding lawnmower.
Right.
That you could mow your grass with. You had to, you know, you had the little push spinny thing. I don't know what that's called, but
That'd be a lawnmower.
oh, it's still a lawnmower.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
But, you know, they had to work a lot harder to get the same results that even we nowadays, you know, stuff that we do.
Yeah, our life is easy.
It's like the stories of my granddaddy, you know, felling trees, and, you know, we got all this done
Yep.
in a couple of hours, but it was because we had a chainsaw.
Yep.
Whereas,
Yeah, when your uncles were here, great uncles, I was asking them, they're like, we don't think Daddy ever owned a chainsaw. He bought one out of a mail order catalog one time, but something happened with the money order and he never got it. So, and he logged his whole life with an axe. With an axe. So that's the vulnerability that I see for everybody, millennials included, is that when push comes to shove, I think a lot of people are going to roll over and die because it's hard and uncomfortable. And I think the benefit to what we are doing now is getting used to and okay with hard and uncomfortable, because, and it doesn't lack joy.
no.
In fact, I think it's more rewarding to go, damn, we killed it today. That wasn't easy, but we still killed it, right?
This was fun.
Well, because growth lives on the edge of comfort. And I think that's why you find a lot of millennials are stagnant in their life and in their walk, and they're just very unfulfilled and unsatisfied because everything is so easy that there's no real growth for them because they're not being pushed beyond their comfort level because everything's easy, right? And a lot of times your self-worth and the meaning of your life, like what should I be doing with my life, is found like right here with your hands and here by the sweat of your brow, and they're not doing that. Although neither are a lot of other Americans either. So, I mean, I think the cross-sectionality of Americans, it's not just millennials. And listen, I see a hipster in skinny jeans and I still want to punch him. I look at them and I go, all right, pick up, throw across room, smile. Like that's what happens in my brain. But
Here, Aspen, you want to wear Mom's hat?
however, like, I have that same thought when I see somebody who's 44 and, you know, has got the spare tire thing going on and pasty white skin and terrible posture and just is living an unfulfilled life. So I guess what I'm saying is, while there are particularly annoying things about millennials, there's particularly annoying things about everybody. And I think what a lot of millennials get ragged on for is just the fact that people who are older than them and have more perspective than them are seeing their own shortcomings in these younger people.
I would also say, you know, like a lot of times they don't have teachers.
Amen.
You know? They don't have people that are willing to have that extra bit of patience to teach them something vital. And so, you know, when you meet someone that has the potential, I think it's our duty to kind of, you know, put them in here under our wing. And
is that what that is? That's a wing?
Yeah, that's
okay.
And teach them a thing or two.
You just made me think of Oktoberfest and the chicken dance. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow forever. You can't have my Oktoberfest pretzels, although that sounds good though, with a beer. See, Grandma's got any beer in that fridge.
I got blackberry wine.
You got blackberry wine? That's the other thing. Pumpkin spice everything. Damn you millennials. What's wrong with you? Knock it off.
Gross.
So, beer. Please. So, final thoughts. Let's put a bow on this thing.
Yeah.
What's going to kill millennials? The same thing that's going to kill you. Are millennials obnoxious? Yup. So are you. So am I. So is he. So is she. We're all obnoxious, all right? And we need to, we get mad at them because they're special little snowflakes, but judge not lest ye be judged, right? Let he who is perfect cast the first stone. And so I would just encourage you to, if there is somebody, a millennial in your life who shows promise, don't write them off just simply because they fall into a certain age group. And I would also encourage you that if you are going to sit around and complain about that millennial, examine the plank in your own eye before you go looking for the speck that's in theirs. So, with all that being said, are millennials going to die during SHTF? Yep. So are the rest of us. You're going to make it, though, because you're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fist bump. Shalom. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever.
Weird.
That's the best singing ever.
That is the best singing ever.
Look at the baby sheep.
So I'd like to thank the
Pretzel community.
I'd like to thank the pretzel community for giving me this opportunity to sing Edelweiss, and the committee, and is it the Oscars?
Oh.
Emmys, the Emmys, yeah. Best impersonation of an Oktoberfest 2019. Thank you guys, you're the best.
Ryan.